Thousands of crime prevention wardens will be placed in Gauteng hotspots from Monday. This is part of the promises made by Premier Panyaza Lesufi in his State of the Province address. He has committed to fighting crime, lawlessness and vandalism in this province. A parade for the new recruits is expected to be held tomorrow. Our senior reporter, Aviwe Mtila, was in Dorado Park yesterday.
It's 6,000 that is currently in the process of training. The first, I'll call it a fleet of these crime prevention wardens, will be on the ground from Monday, 3,200 of them, while the rest are still being trained. We are promised that by the end of May is then, of course, when we can expect all 6,000 to be in place. These first 3,200 will be roaming the streets of 361 wards around Gauteng, and of course, looking at the hotspots. In fact, if you are to talk of a crime hotspot around Gauteng, what comes to mind surely is places like Dorado Park, where guns ring out almost in every night basis. We know, for example, just a street away is where Nathaniel Julies was gunned down at the hands of the police. So how is this going to work? In fact, they're supposed to be in conversations with your CPFs in different communities, and of course, even the deployment of them are supposed to be coming from these communities. Let's speak to the community servants in Dorado Park, find out what's been happening around these crime prevention wardens. Priscilla, thank you for joining us at ENCA. But are you in communication? I mean, it's just Monday when we are told that they're supposed to be on the ground. What's happening in Dorado Park? And some of them are supposed to be coming from places like Dorado Park.
Hi, Aviwe. Thank you for having me. Aviwe, we're part of a weekly stakeholders meeting between CPF and SAPS. We sit on a weekly basis and we check our stats and everything. We have not heard or gotten any confirmation regarding the CPW, whether they've recruited from there's definitely people, our youth have applied, but we have not received any communication in terms of training and receiving anybody from this community and when they'll be deployed.
But this is just happening on Monday. To hear that nothing is happening. So come Monday, is Dorado Park, in your knowledge, part of the 361 wards that will have the boots on the ground?
Not at this stage. Not at this stage, because we have not received any word from Premier to say what is happening on the ground.
But surely the Premier and the Community Safety MEC have made a number of rounds. I mean, we've been on the ground ourselves, where they address communities, they address the CPF. What's the talk been, and when last did you speak to the Premier around this?
Well, the last time that we were engaging with the Premier was his visit earlier in this year to Dorado Park, where we received promises of drones and helicopters. Thus far, nothing has happened and nothing has been said. There has been no improvement. Crime stats have dropped a little bit, but not a lot. Based on that, it is because of SAPS working together with CPF. There's nothing else coming from the Premier. We are under-resourced and we need all the services that we can get, especially the CPW, which is the wardens that are supposed to be deployed to us.
Let me bring you in, Preventine. Just on terms of how this crime prevention wardens are supposed to operate, according to your knowledge, when eventually they do come to Dorado Park, how are they supposed to function and work?
You know, they're supposed to be an extra resource towards SAPS and the CPF. Based on their training, which is supposed to have taken place, but we don't know anything about it. As I said, there's no communication whatsoever that is siphoned down to us from anywhere. But they were supposed to be like the further eyes and ears and help that Dorado Park needs at the moment. As was said, there was a lot of promises made to us. Promises of increasing the budget, but as we know here, SAPS is so heavily under-resourced, and the sector they have to cover is so big, with especially on sector, I think it's sector 3, which is basically a major hotspot. We've got our Uber hijackings, which are happening constantly. We were having our shootings. We had shootings last night, night before, and SAPS cannot manage us to get out. They don't have vehicles.
But when you speak about the CPW, are they going to have guns? Are they going to have a mandate to arrest people? What's your knowledge? What's the separation from police even?
My knowledge on, well, they will be able to arrest. What I'm not sure about is, are they going to be armed? That's what I'm not sure of. As I said, no communication has come through. We haven't received anything.